for the big ideas. This week the main concept was measurement. Measurement is counting units to find the appropriate description of an attribute. So I never actually considered that this was what measurement was. I thought measurement was purely finding out how long something is. I think I had the quite naive view that measurement was just length, not measuring things like time, money, capacity. I don't know what I thought these things were, but I definitely didn't think that they were considered measurement. So we had our two main types of units that were arbitrary and standardized. And I thought it was interesting that we introduced these arbitrary units because I think once we get into older years, we're so focused on accuracy, making sure that children measure things accurately and they're using the ruler correctly and they're not missing any points. So I thought it was quite interesting how we use those arbitrary units first, but I believe it's to start getting children to practice how they would measure things later on with a proper approach to it. The interesting thing I also found out was that considering how time is never ending, it's just one continuous movement. It doesn't stop. You can keep measuring where 60 seconds will be. You can measure it continuously. It doesn't stop, which I think might be a hard concept for children to understand because, for example, things when we're measuring length, it's only so long. You can't change it or it doesn't keep going on and on and on. I think we all know that weight and mass are used incorrectly every day. As much as we know it, I think it's just so ingrained in us to say weight. So I think it'd be really important when I'm in a classroom setting to only use the word mass, because I don't want children to get confused, and I'm hoping that if we start changing the way that they speak, this will continue on, because no matter how many times I learn that weight and mass aren't the same thing, I still use the word weight. I thought it was really interesting how there was the 3 phases for teaching measurement. Step 1, they need to understand the attribute, like we've been talking about every single week, how important it is to find out what the attribute they're measuring truly is. For example, if they don't know what perimeter is, they could be working out the area of a shape. And that's obviously wrong. They might be working out the area great, but if they don't actually know what the area is, it could go quite wrong. And then they also use the unit. And it's important that children understand what units we use for which things. I think I've thought about it before, but say you've got something that is 1,000 centimetres long, it would be more appropriate to measure it 1 metre long. So I think it's starting to have children to have that understanding of how we can measure things so it's a more appropriate unit rather than just using whatever first comes to our mind. And then we also then have to start talking about how we represent the unit, so centimetres, cm, and getting children to write those correctly and knowing where to write them. So not that it goes before the numbers, not that it goes after the numbers, that it goes next to the number. No spaces, no gaps, nothing like that next to the number. And obviously it's important that we start using the words, so like in my language triangle when we were talking about the word mass, how we use our hands, so I can say I've got this mouse and my phone, which one is heavier, or I'd say they're quite similar, but I would say that just by judging by where my hands go, that the phone would be heavier. I think getting children to move them around in different ways, so I'm just now checking to see if it's just my hands that do it, and it's not just anything like that. And then also comparing their results with other students is obviously really important, and estimation, because we want children to begin to start showing that they understand. So if all of a sudden they'll start saying, oh look, her phone is 4 metres long, it shows you that they don't really understand, have an image in their mind, how long a metre truly is. So I thought this week was quite interesting just by how many things are considered measurement. It is interesting, and I think it will be important in my classroom, like the textbook says, that measurement is probably the type of maths that children use in their everyday life the most. Most things are maths, our measurement, especially things like time and money, because they are considered measurement, that they will be using them in their everyday life. So this is my second last big ideas video, and I look forward to speaking to you next week. Thank you.